So in the final days of the Human Covenant War, the battle came to Earth. And during the Battle of Earth, there was one place on the planet that was of particular interest to the Covenant assault, and that is the city of New Mombasa in East Africa. Today we'll take a look at the city of New Mombasa, a little bit about its history and the way it's laid out. I'm Colin, and this is Sci-Fi Deep Dive. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to head down below and hit that subscribe button. So, as many of us know, Mombasa is actually a real place. It's a port city located in Kenya in Africa. And New Mombasa is supposed to be basically the futuristic version of Mombasa. It's first depicted in Halo 2, but we get a really good look at it in ODST. The heart of the city is on an island very reminiscent to Manhattan in New York. On that island is one of the major headquarters of the Office of Naval Intelligence, as well as the New Mombasa Uplift Nature Reserve, a park located on the coast of the city. This city center is surrounded by a highway that runs along the coast. Just off the coast of the city center is the New Mombasa Uplift, the city's space elevator. The space elevator is maybe the most iconic structure in the city, which isn't really surprising. Since the space elevator goes to space, it's one of the tallest structures around. It can be seen for hundreds and hundreds of miles. While the island of New Mombasa is likely accessible through many different routes, we only know of one bridge that connects it with the mainland. A fairly long suspension bridge that connects it to the mainland to the south. At the time of the Covenant assault, New Mombasa wasn't the largest city on Earth, and it didn't really hold any political significance within the UNSC system. So why exactly did the Covenant choose this city as a target? It's because of what's underneath the city. Underneath the city of New Mombasa is the portal to the Ark. Well, more specifically, it appears to be directly to the west of the city. But New Mombasa is the largest metropolitan area in the vicinity of the portal. So as a result, if the Covenant wanted to reach the portal, they had to go through New Mombasa. So when the Covenant arrived on October 20th, 2552, they basically made a beeline for East Africa. Blowing through most of the orbital defense platforms in orbit over New Mombasa, they were able to slip one carrier through to attack the city. Interestingly, shortly before the Covenant attacked, the city's superintendent, an AI that controls all of the systems within the city, discovered the buried megastructure that is the portal to the Ark. Now, as we all know, the Master Chief is able to repel a good portion of the first Covenant assault on the city, and this forces the Prophet of Regret's carrier, which is over the city, to retreat. However, it does this into slipspace over the city. And when Regret's carrier jumps to slipspace, the resulting shockwave basically devastates New Mombasa. It wasn't long after the Prophet of Regret jumped into slipspace that the New Mombasa space elevator collapsed. Its destruction scattered debris all over the area for hundreds of miles. By the end of October 20th, the city was mostly abandoned. Many of the UNSC forces defending the city had either been defeated or left, and only a few scattered units remained in the city. However, the city wouldn't survive long come morning, as that is when the Prophet of Truth arrives with his much larger fleet. One of the first orders of business for the Prophet of Truth's fleet is to begin digging. They begin the tedious process of excavating the portal to the Ark. This massive structure that basically stretches from New Mombasa to the town of Voi. In this excavation, a good chunk of the city is basically erased. When the Flood arrive on Earth during the later stages of the Battle of Earth, the shipmaster is forced to glass half of Africa. This is to prevent a flood outbreak. I think it's safe to assume that in that glassing process, much of what was left of the city is probably destroyed. After the end of the war, a memorial was built on a hillside near the site of the city. This memorial, known as Hillside Memorial, honored those that had died during the Human Covenant War. It overlooked what was left of the ruins of the city of New Mombasa. And that's where the story of this city ends. It didn't really survive the Battle of Earth. But if you want to learn more about the Battle of Earth and the forces tasked in defending Earth, I'll leave a link up here to my video on the UNSC home fleet. And I want you to let me know down in the comments whether you think New Mombasa had a history after the war. Do you think it was completely destroyed and left abandoned, or do you think humanity went to the trouble of rebuilding it? And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.